Hello. It is true. We are taking a short break from YouTube. All I'm asking for is to give me 2 weeks, and we will be back on July 24th. The plan is I just want to try making something a little longer that I have a little bit more time to work on. So on July 24th, you can expect a big episode from us, and then following that episode, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled once a week posting as we sail south to the sun. So yes, our next series is going to be called South to the Sun, and we will be sailing from the coast of British Columbia down to Mexico. So we'll be documenting the entire voyage with once a week videos and the same sort of production quality. Well, actually, hopefully better even production quality as you saw in the Northern Voyage. The one longer episode that you will see on July 24th is going to actually be about sailing all the way from Vancouver to Prince Rupert. So basically, the South to the Sun series, I wanted it to start sort of at one of the most northern points in British Columbia, and to then move south all the way down the coast to Mexico. So really doing a quite long journey instead of just leaving from Vancouver and then to Mexico. So in order to start in Prince Rupert, which is way up at the north of British Columbia, we have to get there. We overwintered in Vancouver. So the longer episode is going to be one episode sort of documenting the whole BC portion of the Inside Passage, moving from Vancouver up to Prince Rupert. And I think that will also be nice for anyone, thinking of doing the Inside Passage themselves, perhaps, to see the whole journey in one episode. Now, in the meantime, of course, I don't want to leave you hanging. And so I thought it's actually the perfect opportunity to review some of the series that we've done in the past, some of the series that I'm most proud of. Like I said, we've been doing videos on YouTube nearly once a week for 8 years, so there's a lot of videos. And I'm going to bring you through some of my favorites. Maybe you haven't seen them. Maybe they might be of interest to you. Okay, favorite number 1, My $1 Boat. This series occurred many years ago now, but when I was 18, I was given a sailboat for $1 from some random strangers who I've still never met. I lived on that boat during university and I sailed it a bit locally. It really transformed me from a teenager to an adult. It was like such a pivotal time of life.
Back then, life was still a brand new experience. I was learning every day, pushing my limits and my confidence. Curlew taught me that when things go wrong, I can fix them, even if I've never fixed that thing before.
So basically right now, I'm refinishing the seats in the cockpit. And just recently, actually, like a few months ago, I got some news that that boat no longer exists. And I didn't want to hear the full story about it, so I don't know exactly what happened, but all I know is that Curlew no longer plies these waters. And so I think that makes that series even more poignant. It's a 4-part series, so it's easy to get through, and it's got some really honest storytelling in it. It's not like a big flashy video production, but I think it's just kind of a good story about a really pivotal moment in life. The next short series I wanted to tell you about are for those of you who are interested in the boat building side of things. We did a short 3-part series about Aladino building our dinghy.
Here we go. Feeling pretty excited. Learned my first lesson already along the way.
You've probably seen our dinghy in our videos. It's a beautiful rowing dinghy, and Aladino built it in the span of a month over Christmas one year. And yeah, there's a 3-part series that I made about it. Not only is it nice because it's literally got a beginning, a middle, and an end, unlike this refit, which just encompassed so many episodes, it would take hours and hours and hours to get through. This is only 3. And I actually made that 3-part series in another period of really learning. That was a winter period. Aladino was building the boat, and I spent all that time learning about storytelling and documentary filmmaking. And so that's actually the first time that I used the on-camera interview mode.
My name is Aladino. I am a boat builder and a sailor. Damn it, can that be said? These days, it's true though.
Sitting Aladino down in front of the camera and writing out an interview so that I could kind of get him to drive the storyline. And that ended up being so effective that I ended up using that format in pretty much all of the refit videos after that. You'll notice, like at the start of our big refit series on this boat, I was doing narration over top. But yeah, that 3-part series about the dinghy build kind of changed that all. I was studying new techniques and I really loved it and I stuck with it. Another series that's really dear to me is our North Through the Continent series. And this is when we took our 28-foot sailboat all the way through Europe via canals and rivers.
On November 16th, 2019, we set out on a journey very different from anything we've done so far. We were heading north from the Mediterranean to the North Sea, all the way through Europe's inland waterways. In front of us, we had 2,000 kilometers, 200 locks, and the onset of winter.
First lock of this trip. I am excited, but also a bit nervous. From here to Lyon, more than 300 kilometers will be against the current. I'm actually really curious how strong the current is.
We're at 4,000 RPM on the engine. We're making less than a knot.
I'm just trying to keep the bow straight forward because if it gets us sideways, I cannot get it back.
Okay, watch the back,
Hold it.
Join us as we navigate river currents, discover incredible locations, cruise through canals, and get stopped halfway through by a global pandemic. This is North Through the Continent. We're going north through the continent.
I really loved telling that story because it was so great from a storytelling perspective. It's like there's not only one path you can take because there's a few different routes, but like in general, you're in a river, it goes in a line and you have to follow the river. You can't just like go divert around some other island or take another route if things aren't working out. And so as you go along and there's obstacles along the way, you have to overcome them. Like if there's a drought and the river level is too low, or if a lock gets broken, or if a certain section of the canal is covered with weeds, you have to overcome it and you have to keep going. And that goal at the end was always really clear. So I think from a narrative perspective, this is one of the first times that I really felt like I was coming into my own as a serial storyteller. And it was also the first season that we decided to try making videos full-time. Before that, we had been making videos, but also going back to Switzerland to work regular jobs every winter. And yeah, the North Through the Continent series, I was like, okay, we're gonna try this. I'm gonna put my all into it. And it's funny looking back because my all then wasn't what my all is now. But I think, again, the storytelling was there and the beauty of the surroundings, you know, sailing through the French canals and just the honesty of that series. I still really like revisiting it. So I'm going to leave you with those 3 recommendations. Like I said, there's 8 years worth of videos, so I don't want to I don't want this to become overwhelming. But I know that there's many folks who watching this probably who have been with us for a really long time. And so if you have personal favorites of videos that you've really liked in the past few years, do let us know in the comments, and maybe someone else will read what you write and decide that that sounds interesting to them as well. But in the meantime, there's going to be 2 Fridays without a Magic Carpet episode. We'll be back on July 24th with hopefully one of the best episodes we've made. Well, I don't know, but just at least something that I've spent more time on than the others. Let's say that. That's what I can promise. I can promise that it will be an episode that I've spent more time on. We'll see what comes of it. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye for now.